The luxury hotel room was pristine, exactly as Dominic Laurent expected from the five-star establishment. He'd just returned from a grueling 12-hour day of acquisition meetings, ready to collapse into bed and prepare for another brutal day. Tomorrow. At 42, Dominic was CEO of Laurent Global Holdings, managing real estate investments across 3 continents. He lived out of hotels more than his actual home, conducting business in cities where personal connections didn't exist and everything was transactional. He loosened his tie as he entered the bedroom, then stopped abruptly. Someone was asleep on his bed. A young woman in a housekeeping uniform lay curled on top of the covers, her cleaning cart still in the hallway, her hair escaping from its ponytail. She'd clearly just meant to rest for a moment and had fallen into deep sleep from sheer exhaustion. Dominic's first instinct was to call the front desk, have her removed, possibly fired. This was completely unprofessional, unacceptable in a hotel of this caliber, but something made him pause. She looked young, maybe mid-20s. Her uniform was slightly too large, clearly secondhand. Her hands showed signs of hard work, nails short and practical, fingers reddened from cleaning solutions. And her face, even in sleep, showed exhaustion that went deeper than one long shift. Dominic had seen that kind of exhaustion before, years ago, in his own mother's face when she'd worked 3 jobs to keep him in school after his father left. He pulled out his phone, but instead of calling the front desk, he called down for coffee and a blanket. Then he sat in the chair by the window and waited, checking emails while the stranger slept in his bed. She woke 20 minutes later with a gasp, sitting up so fast she nearly fell off the bed. "Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I sat down for just a second and please don't call my manager. Please. I need this job." Dominic held up a calming hand. "It's okay. Take a breath. No one's calling anyone." The woman, her name tag read Charlotte, looked at him with terrified eyes. "I'm so sorry, sir. I've been working double shifts and I haven't slept properly in 3 days, and I just needed to sit for 1 minute." Angry. "I'm curious. The coffee I ordered should be here soon. Have a cup with me and explain why someone is working themselves to collapse." Charlotte looked like she wanted to bolt, but was too afraid of consequences to disobey a guest. She perched on the edge of a chair, ready to flee at any moment. "I'm working double shifts because my mother needs surgery," she said quietly. "Cancer. The treatment costs more than insurance will cover. I work here during the day and at another hotel at night. I sleep when I can, which isn't often. Tonight I got dizzy while cleaning and I sat on your bed for just a second. I didn't mean to fall asleep." The coffee arrived. Dominic poured 2 cups and handed one to Charlotte, who took it with shaking hands. "How much do you need?" "For the surgery? $40,000. I've saved $18,000 in 6 months. If I can keep this pace for another 6 months, I'll have enough. And if you keep this pace for another 6 months, you'll end up in the hospital yourself from exhaustion." Charlotte's jaw tightened. "Then I'll deal with that after my mother is taken care of." Dominic studied this young woman who was literally working herself to death for her mother, who'd fallen asleep from exhaustion, but was more worried about losing her job than about her own health. What would you do if money wasn't an issue? Dream job. Ideal life. Why does that matter? Humor me, Charlotte sighed. I was studying interior design before I had to drop out to work. I love creating beautiful spaces, making places feel like home. I used to sketch room designs in my breaks, but that's not realistic anymore. Now, just clean the beautiful spaces other people designed. Dominic made a decision. I own this hotel. I own 47 hotels worldwide. I need someone to oversee design consistency across properties, someone who understands both luxury aesthetics and practical maintenance, because they've actually done the cleaning. Interested? Charlotte stared at him. You own this hotel? I own the chain, and I'm offering you a job. $60,000 a year to start. Full medical benefits that will cover your mother's surgery, and you'll work normal hours from an office where you won't fall asleep on guest beds. You'll travel to properties, assess design, make recommendations. Use that interior design knowledge. Why would you do this? I fell asleep on your bed. I should be fired, not promoted. You fell asleep because you're working yourself to death to save your mother. That's exactly the kind of dedication I want in my company. The job is real. The question is whether you'll take it." Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. Yes, I'll take it." 6 months later, Charlotte had transformed Dominic's hotel design standards, bringing fresh perspectives that balanced luxury with livability. Her mother's surgery had been successful, fully covered by the company's health plan. Charlotte had moved into a proper apartment and was finishing her design degree online. But more than professional success, something unexpected had developed between Charlotte and Dominic. Their working relationship had deepened into friendship, and then into something neither had planned. A year after finding Charlotte asleep on his bed, Dominic proposed to her in a hotel room she'd redesigned, the same room where they'd met. "I thought you were going to fire me that night," Charlotte said through tears as she accepted his ring. "I should have been angry," Dominic admitted, "but I looked at you and saw someone fighting so hard they'd collapsed from exhaustion. I saw the kind of determination in love that made you sacrifice your own health for someone else. That's when I knew you were someone special." At their wedding, Charlotte gave a speech that made everyone think about perspective and privilege. "A year ago, I fell asleep on a luxury hotel bed while working my second job of the day, trying to save my mother's life. I woke up terrified I'd be fired. Instead, the man whose bed I'd fallen asleep on saw past the unprofessional moment to the person underneath. He saw exhaustion born from love rather than laziness. He gave me not just a job, but a chance to use talents I'd thought were lost forever." Sometimes our lowest moments put us exactly where we need to be. I fell asleep from exhaustion and woke up to a future I never imagined. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment about a time when an embarrassing moment led to unexpected opportunity.